What up? What up? What up? Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Day. What is going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
And yeah, if you're sitting back wondering, man, these guys sound different. Yeah, we do. Currently testing out a new Yeti mic that we just got. Yeah, trying to try something different. Because the audio wasn't as on point as I would like it to be on the other ones. Trying to try this out, of course, as I start streaming more, trying to find a mic that's a lot more easier to manage and work with that. So yeah.
Did we talk about how you're going to be streaming?
Briefly, I mean, it's a separate thing.
Well, he going to be streaming his video game. So that's fun. But yeah, so ironically enough, you heard kind of a preview of the Yeti mic last week because right in the beginning is when our other microphones kind of just stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
So it came in handy.
So yeah, the audio on the other mics, it was right in front of us. So this one's a bit more, if you're looking on the video version of YouTube, you'll see like the grill of the mic right now. I was like, screw it. Yeah, just trying to see. I feel like you get a bit more open ear, but it's a lot easier to talk with, to have you guys see what we're talking about. Because the mics that we were using before were a lot more like bigger and taking up a lot more space. Now that we have two, at some point we'll probably use the other one and make it do the same thing, but have them in front of us and turn down the gain so less input gets put in. Down the road stuff. But just wanted to start off with that information.
So, other information that we haven't done in the beginning of our podcast for a little while is be sure to check out our Etsy shop, Good Feeling Apparel. We do have our holiday line launched, which is limited edition. There's a lot of fun kind of designs, some takes on, 2020 and making that kind of a holiday joke and, festive AF and all this fun stuff. So make sure to check out our Etsy shop for amazing t-shirts, coffee mugs, face masks, hats, all that good stuff.
You know what I was thinking about recently? And with this whole, like, the last 7 months, 8 months that we've been in Corona time, I miss, the topics we used to talk about, like, before all this election stuff, everything.
Honestly, same. I was thinking the same exact thing.
Yeah.
That I'm really, I don't know about you, and maybe our listeners feel the same, quite honestly. It's like, I'm getting tired of talking about Corona and politics.
Yeah. Feel you. And
I feel like that's not what we started this for,
Well, yeah. And I'm hoping that, like, as we get into a new year, that, like, things go back to somewhat normal. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say, with this episode, I picked a lot of the current topics. None of them, well, I would like to say none of them have to do with politics.
Yay.
Yeah. So this episode will be politics free. Back to kind of, talking about current events like we used to do.
Yeah.
Before all the craziness happened. Yeah. So with that being said, I want to talk about this news that came from New York here, where New York City is going to be dispatching mental health teams to some 911 calls. So, Mayor Bill de Blasio plans his way of like reducing police's role in responding to mental health emergencies, and I find this to be so interesting because this is what we're looking for. Oh man, of course I can't. I had this all on my phone. Damn.
Can I just say though, I hate these news, like, what are they? Like the newspaper, websites. Why? They gotta make you pay for it all the time. I I don't know. I think it's terrible. So some of the articles that are more, I think, urgent or like something the whole public should know, it's really irritating that you have to pay for this stuff. They didn't used to do that. And then the past couple of years, they're just like, we're going to make you pay for everything because we're losing out on newspaper sales.
Yeah.
But it's so frustrating.
Well, I'll touch on this briefly from the parts I can see on this. So the program, it will begin in February. Cute. And will reduce the role of police in responding to such calls. The mayor said mental health emergencies accounted for 171,499 calls in the city in 2019.
Wow.
It's funny because there's you guys are familiar, probably not. There's a show on YouTube, I guess you can call it, which is Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. The guy's name's Emmanuel. And he did one with like some town in California, like of police officers, and it was so interesting. And like the guy was like, he agrees that like in the sense that police should be defunded, whereas like these mental health things shouldn't be given to police to handle. I feel like it was in this video where they mentioned how police officers, they don't mind like accompanying like a social worker or something like that just to make sure everything is smooth and there's no issues. Yeah, and I feel like that's what should happen, where you should have, especially in these bigger cities, where you have like a dedicated group of people that will be social workers on call or whatever, or around the clock, and then they would be accompanied with a police officer or two as like, yeah, and it's a team.
Right. Well, and I think that's important because if, it goes south, if it does get like violent, like that's where the police officers can come in handy. Obviously, you don't want somebody who is troubled to be, choking out a social worker or something like that. So I think that's where they come in handy. But yeah, that I think it makes a lot of sense that if these are mental health calls, then a mental health professional should be intervening and maybe diffusing the situation in a proper way because they're trained in that. And it's like, I don't expect police officers to be as trained as they were because the others went to college for that. So I'm not expecting the training to be that intense for police officers going forward in that regard. So I think it is. It's more of a community thing. I think it's important that the whole concept with family and how like it takes a village, kind of that idea.
Yeah.
That everybody specializes in something else. And so that's where we can work together, because I think people think all the time, it's always the classic saying of, who are you going to call if we get rid of police? We're not looking to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Like, we're not. It's either we're looking to train them better in the areas that they need extra training, or we're looking to have them work with other professionals on certain calls. That's it.
Pretty much. And it became a political thing when people were saying defund the police as if it's abolished. And it's like, it's not. It's literally, and the police officers agree with this, it's giving the job to someone that's more capable. Something that I'm sure in our own work life, we would hope, our bosses would be like, this should be going to someone else instead of your workload being pounded with a bunch of things. Like that's really just it.
I mean, that's a perfect example, actually, because if you look at like a standard 9-to-5 team, you look at like corporate America, and you look at these different roles that everybody has on the same team, you're all there to make the same thing go smoothly, just in different ways. You all contribute to it, but you're not doing the other person's job. I mean, well, some people are overworked, and it's kind of crazy. But ideally, say there's 5 steps in a customer's line of what they have to do to get the product or whatever.
Yep.
And there's 5 different people who then like you do your role and then the transaction is done, kind of thing. Like, and you're all there for the same reason. You're just working together to get it done. That's the same thing as if you send a police officer and, a social worker, psychiatrist, whoever.
Yeah. Yeah, I just hope other places do this. It's like you hope that people see what New York's doing, and I guess it's more possible with like bigger states to do it. So like hopefully California and Texas, like these places, kind of follow next.
I think it'd be a slow rollout. It'll take years to trickle down, but
it's to happen.
Right. As long as we're starting the process and we don't stop midway.
And I think I talked about this months ago, but I think New York even had like they were quick to pass like new laws for police or something like that too. Went over this like back June or July, where they added things with the quickness. So I mean, whether it's the governor or the mayor, whoever's over there that's pushing for this, shout out to them. Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, it's just making sure everyone can do their job and no lives are taken that don't need to be. Yeah. Okay. Now outside of that stuff, man, now we are getting into some celebrity drama. So, Meg Thee Stallion went on GQ this past week, and she told them that Tory Lanez was going to pay her hush money. And Tory went on like Instagram or Twitter or something, and he put up a cap, which means no cap, no lie. Like, saying that she's lying.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
I know some of the lingo of the youngins today.
Yeah.
No, I feel that separation. Like, I feel like I'm starting to get older where some of the things that like Gen Z says on TikTok, like in the comments and like the emojis they use and the way they say things, I'm starting to get that disconnect of like, I'm starting to get older.
That makes one of us.
Really? Do you know what the little stars emoji means when they put something in like the middle of the, like they'll say like, I don't know. I don't even know the context you put it in, but they'll say like, this makes me feel uncomfy. And then they'll put like the little stars emojis around uncomfy. And I don't know what, like it's supposed to emphasize in some way, but I'm not sure what that means.
That seems like it's a very like micro thing. It doesn't seem like it's
but see, I don't know. So I'm just saying there's some.
It sounds like it's clicked to me versus it's not like widely known like lingo.
No, I mean, I think it's widely known among that generation is what I'm saying.
I don't know, but that one's
that's where I feel the disconnect.
I don't know, but I feel like I can probe a couple people that would not know.
So anyways, what I'm saying is I understand what no cap is.
So Meg did her interview with GQ, and she said, likely, I've never put my hands on... Oh, not likely. Like, I've never put my hands on nobody. She told GQ, I barely even said anything to the man who shot me when I was walking away. We were literally like 5 minutes away from the house. The musician explains that when the police arrived, she told them that she accidentally cut... Oh, we already know this stuff. But she essentially is just giving the rundown, and then she tells them that Tory Lanez was going to give her hush money if she could essentially be quiet.
You didn't take it, right?
Obviously not that kind of. She said Lanez offered her and her friends money to keep quiet about the event. An allegation denied by Lanez's lawyer. Mm-hmm. And then this is a quote from Meg, I believe, saying, I'm thinking, I can't believe you even think I hear Meg's voice when I'm saying this. I want to take some money. Like, you just shot me.
Well, that, and she good. She good. I don't think she need it.
I mean, yeah. I feel
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I feel like if it were the average person and you're in a position where, like, he wants to give you $1 million or something, and you're like, that could really change my life. Like, that's different. And you may think twice about it, but I don't think she cares because she's good. You see how her music's going these days. Like,
now,
Plus, I mean, let's be real, she's the type of woman, she's not going to do that. And I think that's respectable. I think it's respectable that she is, I mean, she's always been independent. She's always been strong and just.
Wait, do you mean like independent as a female or independent as an artist?
Female.
Okay. Like independent as an artist.
As a woman. Okay. Let me say woman. Female gets a weird connotation sometimes when you say that. But like she's just strong, independent, like has what's the word I'm going for? Like she knows who she is, what she's gonna say, like where she's going in life. Like she's what all women I feel like want to be. Like we're just all about ourselves, feeling ourselves. Ain't got no time for wasting our time on, these trash men. Like she's good. Yeah. So I feel like she would never be the person to take the hush money. And I love that though. Because I think that there's something to be said about that.
I mean, I just think she wouldn't take it because she has more money than Tory.
Okay,
but
if she didn't, I don't know. I don't think she would. I do think she understands the principle is more important here. I think it is more important that she talks about this and lets other women know it's not okay what happened, because it's a domestic violence situation essentially, and I think that's powerful to talk about. Mm-hmm. So.
Now, I will say, so Meg put out her album this past week and did a song called Shots Fired. Now, I know a lot of Meg fans probably aren't big into, the older hip hop. She took the Who Shot Your Beat and rapped over it and killed Tory, in my mind. Oh.
I haven't even heard it, so.
Oh, yes, you have. You just don't pay attention. I played it numerous times.
Okay, you played it, but I was probably doing other stuff.
Exactly. So you've heard it subconsciously.
I was busy.
You've heard it subconsciously.
I was not focused. All right.
And then she put out a song called Body, and I'm like, ew. I think did I just see that on TikTok? I think I may have just saw that.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if some of her songs make it there because they've been doing really well. Clearly,
I hate that hook. Body yada 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 yada.
Oh, that.
Yada,
see,
yada,
I know
yada,
that
yada.
one.
Yeah, you saw the video.
Exactly. I remember that one.
Let me give you a cookie. I don't have one.
Chocolate chip, please.
But she put out an album, and this is her debut album, and I gotta say, I'm digging it. Sounds good.
Wait a minute. What do you mean debut album?
Yeah.
She's never had a full album?
No. She didn't consider the past ones her debut.
Why? Don't they have enough songs on them to be an album?
Okay, I mean, you don't understand the music well. Okay, so your world is different from our world. I'm just going to say that right now.
I love how you say me and then you say our. Who are you talking about? Who else is here?
I mean, I just mean genre because you listen to some weird country stuff. Let's be real.
Okay.
So,
and I listen to a lot of other stuff too.
Like what?
I just listen to a range of pop rock.
Sad music is genre.
You know what? I'm not the only person that likes to listen to emotional songs.
I do too.
Okay.
They just aren't that sad.
Okay.
They're type of sad.
Okay. And?
Okay. Yeah, so she put that out. I'm digging it. Her debut album, as I was saying, she in the past, they're what we would call them projects, is what we would call them. But yeah, digging it. Check it out. Check out that Shots Fired. It's the first song. I'm not sure if Tory responded, but damn.
He needs to just sit down at this point. He's not gonna win. She's again, she is a force to be reckoned with, I feel like. So, and at this point, I feel like most people would side with her on what's been happening and don't think what happened is okay at all.
I don't know. It's kind of split, so I'm just going to say that.
Really? Who is on his side?
People still listen to Tory.
No, I understand. I'm not. Okay.
I mean,
I'm not
you
saying
support the
listen
person.
to.
You support him if you listen to his music.
But I'm saying no. So what I'm saying is, do they actually agree with what happened in that scenario of the shooting with him?
Yeah, I think Meg is capping. Like, is this a surprise?
I think this is ridiculous.
Are you surprised? Do you not see what happened with America a few weeks ago? We were split down the middle.
Yes, but that's why I guess I thought in this situation maybe we wouldn't be as split.
Nah, dog. Meg may have 51%, but it's split.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Nah, it's split, Chief.
Like, this is like, okay, back in the day, when, like, the Chris Brown Rihanna thing happened, people weren't split like this.
I mean,
people were on Rihanna's side because they saw, like, how bad it was in the photos and everything, and it's like, you can't make that up.
Yeah, but
so I think they were more confident in it, but, like, come on.
Yeah, but that sounds like to me a temporary split because Chris Brown is still on and killing it. And
as we've talked about, he is not killing it as he was at his prime, which was before that happened.
I mean, you can't really say that because that's just what happened.
He's not on the radio.
I could do some research to prove otherwise.
Okay. Well, he's not as much as he used to be. I do not think he's at his...
I mean, again, that
was his prime.
That's different. Obviously, when you first come out, it's going to be your prime.
Okay, well, he cut it short is what I'm saying. It could have lasted, I think, if that didn't happen.
I don't know. He kind of has like that Justin Bieber thing where Justin Bieber was hot for the moment, and then in the middle he got very cold, and now Justin Bieber's being realistic, and now he's coming back. That's kind of how I envision Chris Brown's like career as well, where it was like hot, and then it got cold, and then he came back.
I don't know. All I'm saying is I feel like it wasn't as much of a divide as this one is, and you can argue that they're similar situations where guy hurts girl in relationship, and it's not okay. Like, it's that simple. So I'm like, what is...
I'm sure you had people that were like, oh, so what did Rihanna do for him to do that? I mean, we're not in the age...
And then okay, so people want to be known as victim blamers?
That's what people are saying about Meg. You can literally go on Twitter.
But that's what I think is terrible.
Like, Chris Brown and Rihanna, we weren't in the age of the internet and having Twitter. Now, I've literally seen tweets of people, like, being on Tory's side. Like, there are people out there.
I just can't understand it.
I don't know, bro. Well, keep that same energy, because we're going to talk about Harry Styles, because people have issues with his cover on Vogue, as you can see.
Okay.
And if you guys are listening to the audio version or the video version, feel free to look up Harry Styles' Vogue cover. So,
I did see a few different pictures. I don't think it's just this.
I'm not sure. I pulled up Vogue and this came up.
Sure,
I could probably scroll down to find more.
Yeah, there's like different.
Oh yeah, yeah. So people are going after Harry Styles, and I mean, like, there's a spectrum. Like, the people that are talking about like news and politics and whatever else is happening in the world. It is crazy.
Why? Tell me why they're... What do you mean by going after him? Why are they going after him?
Saying that, like, why is he wearing a dress? This is not, like, good for men to see, and it's demasculating and all this
So
stuff.
we really still are in that day and age. I really was over here thinking, like, we were making progress. Wait, are we only going backwards because it's Vogue? Like, do people have the problem because it's on such a magazine as Vogue?
No one cares about it being on Vogue. People are just talking about Harry Styles.
No, because here's the deal. Harry Styles has been doing stuff with his outfits for a while now.
People didn't realize.
And painting his nails and, like, all this different stuff.
No one has realized this. Like, that's clearly
people have.
No, they have. No, it's been blowing up. You tell me?
No, because the last time he was on SNL, people were commenting how his nails were painted.
Who?
I'm saying that he has been representing.
Representing what?
Just, he's been dressing differently. He's been not the norm, not the, you have to be like the most masculine. He's been doing this for a little while now. And yeah, maybe it's not been as, I don't know, as much as a whole dress or something, but maybe he was getting to that point. Because obviously it's usually a journey for people.
I feel like nails are weird to some people.
And it wasn't just like black nails either. Like they were like colorful and stuff. Okay, so people were like flipping out. And
MGK
I'm like,
has been doing
seriously?
that too. I mean, you can point to different people that have been doing that also. So I feel like nails are like, people don't know why you're doing it, but they'll let it pass. But now when you're putting on a full-on dress, people I haven't seen anyone care about it being on Vogue. They've talked about Harry Styles and being and wearing a dress. Like,
the thing that I'm not quite sure of, I don't know how Harry excuse me, I don't know how Harry identifies. So I don't know how to properly describe that like in a way that does him justice. But like I in general, it's like people need to, I just think people need to get over it.
Give them that energy. Give them that spice that you had for
that's my spice. That's my spice, is that I don't see what the problem is. Obviously, if you've listened to our podcast for a while, you know how we lean. You know what we agree or disagree with. You know what we will, allow for our kids and who we have as friends and in our circle. And like, it should, if you know us at all, it should be no surprise that this doesn't faze me. I don't see the problem with it. I see, sure, people are freaking out, but I really think...
Why does everyone need to have their own, commentary on this, is my question. Why does it matter what he's wearing? And
that's what I'm saying.
I saw a snippet from what he was saying or whatever, I believe from Vogue, where he's like, he'll walk into a store and, if he likes a dress or likes something that's on the female, clothing section...
Yep.
He'll wear it. Like, if he likes it, he likes it. He's not, he doesn't care.
I almost want to say...
Man, you're trying to label him. I'm not trying to label him at all.
No, but I think... I understand. I'm not trying to make that insulting. But it almost, to me, seems as maybe he's leaning in the non-binary direction. Okay.
I'm just going to say he's leaning towards wearing clothes that he wants.
Because here's why I say that. Because I feel like it's the enjoying presenting as arguably both genders or being fluid.
What if he's not trying to do that? What if he's literally like, yo, I like this dress. I like the colors on it. I'm going to wear it. Like, why do I have to be labeled something for you to understand it? How come it can't just be like, I went into Victoria's Secrets.
I'm cool with it either way.
I'm just saying, you're labeling this and I'm like, he may... But also, it really sounds like he just likes wearing these clothing.
Know. In my mind, the people I've talked to, I feel like a lot of people enjoy the labels because they feel validated. It's like, I am a part of X group. You know what I mean? And then they can seek support from said group and things like that. So I feel like that's where that helps. I mean, I am totally fine either way if he doesn't. So... This picture came to mind. This was him on SNL last year. Mm-hmm. So this is him in a literal tutu, like a ballerina costume a year ago. Okay. And there's those two are still on his Instagram from a year ago. And then in general, you see how the wardrobe changed throughout the years. It took a turn where, obviously he had a certain look when he was in One Direction. And then I think after that is when he started to experiment and it started to become looser and a little more, just fun and whatever I feel like kind of vibe. And yeah, to me, this is not shocking. I think if you have seen what he does for a while, you're just like, oh, okay, this is it. This is what he's doing. It's fine.
Yeah, this is a random side note, but I like that he put his live tour dates for 2021, and it starts in August next year. So that means his team was like, we're just gonna wait until late summer to start this tour off.
I mean, I feel like probably a lot of people are doing that.
Just saying, but that was back in June. That's what I was saying. Like, it was so far, like, we were in the thick of it around that time. And just to be like, yo, whew, we're throwing a football all the way to next year.
Someone commented on, so it's one of the pictures where he's blowing a balloon. And someone commented and said, I want to be that balloon. Made me giggle. But, yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. This is once again one of those scenarios where this affects my life 0%.
A lot of things that we comment about affects our life.
Exactly. I will still go to sleep tonight. I will still move on. I will go to work and I will enjoy my life. And this will not, hinder that. So I think when people freak out, like, sure, you can talk. Like, people like to talk. Everyone gossips, all right? Fine. But to just have a whole meltdown or have to go to the internet and blast somebody purely for what they wore, I feel like it's getting tired.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was shocked. I'm like, why are we still on this? It's almost 2021. We have moved so far forward.
Like it.
Like we have, like, with gay marriage and our first ever president-elect talking about transgender people. Like, we have moved on. Why is this?
I don't know why I keep bringing that up. Like, it's no, it's not. Like,
but I'm saying, look at the progress we made even the last 10, 20 years.
It doesn't matter. Like, we keep. I'm getting tired of everyone bringing up the year. Like, man, next year we're gonna be like, this is 2021.
No, cool? But it's to say, it's like, think about it, okay? Like, I think when people say, oh, it's X year, it's to put in perspective that this is tired. Why are we still doing this? Like, we can be better than this.
Yeah, I'm sure people were saying that back in the 90s. Yo, this is 1993, and we're still doing that?
But exactly, like, I think it's always the mentality of we can be better, so why aren't we? Like, let's just do that.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I think it's cool. Doesn't bother me 1%. So
what do you do when your son wants to wear a dress out in public?
I think you and I have been through this.
Okay, what would you want to do?
I am okay with it.
What are you gonna do when people don't feel as comfortable as you do?
Like who? A stranger?
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna give one fuck?
Okay, it's not about you though. It's about your kid feeling how that stranger has made them feel.
That kid is going to know how much they are loved and how much they are accepted by their parents.
Okay.
And they are going to learn. Obviously, you have to learn things, obviously, sort of the hard way through social constructs. I mean, like, we all do. We all grow up and have bullying of some sort and all this garbage. Mm-hmm. So yes, they may still get affected some, but one, they will know about their strong household dynamic, and two, they will know that they can express themselves however they see necessary, as long as they are not hurting somebody. They're not punching someone, they're not saying mean words, like things like that. How they dress, if that makes them happy, then that's what matters at the end of the day, and that's what they will know. That's it. Like, as long as, so if it's a boy, as long as you don't have, your junk out everywhere for people to see, you can dress how you'd like. You obviously teach them the obvious, but why? How about you?
I don't really care.
Okay, but I present the same question.
I'm not a dog.
What about our kid? How they feel, you just said.
Same way you would handle it.
Exactly. See? And I think that's how it has to be.
We're going to keep this flame burning here. And we're going to talk about your little girl, Tay-Tay.
Which I think is funny, by the way, because her and Harry dated.
And look, he probably started with her, them wanting to wear dresses. They brought each other to, like...
So see, you're kind of going in an insulting direction with that, though.
Because it was more of a joke.
But it's not, because if you think about it, it's kind of like the whole, when people say, oh, you probably made him gay. First of all, that's rude to both people, because it's probably rude to the person who was in the closet, and it's also rude to the person who it was not their fault. They just didn't come out until after that. Like, it's poor taste.
You know what just came to my mind as you were saying that? My mind, someone was saying, "Ooh, Sting." That's what you just like as you said it to me. That makes sense. Okay,
what?
Cool. Okay, cool. Let's go to Taylor Swift.
You have your own little audience in your mind.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, I want to talk about Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun selling her masters. Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
You know who Justin talks about, who Kanye talks about. Selling her masters for a big payday. So okay, as a Taylor fan, let me understand this so I understand this. How many albums is she re-recording?
Is it maybe? Hold on.
Oh, her first 6 albums.
Oh, I was right.
Have changed hands for the second time in 17 months.
Because what it was the only albums I believe that she has ownership of are the one that came out last year and this year. And everything else, which built her entire career, was taken from her. Like, okay. That's devastating.
I see why it's important because, yeah, she's not getting money off you buying it and streaming it.
That's the majority of her career.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's devastating.
And then people are taking, not people, but like, you know, production companies are taking that and throwing it in movies. She's not getting the money for it, so I can see
all of it. There's that. There's just not having the ability to control it at all.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
And just no. But I mean, even like with Spotify and iTunes and all this stuff. Like,
yeah, that's sad.
Just
you paying for it, but Taylor's not getting that money.
But it's not just about the money either. It's about like, I feel like if that was mine. No, listen. I feel like if those were mine, I'm like, it's there. But this isn't me. Like, I feel like this.
What are you talking about?
Because it's like, it's almost, this is not mine anymore. Like, I see these albums, but now they're not mine.
It's about the money.
I think
she put in the time, work, and everything for it.
Right.
Now she wants the money for all the time and effort she put into it. So it's about the money.
Just the whole thing feels so dirty.
My thing is, she's gonna re-record these songs. And she's gonna, add more things here. What if you can't get the same beats from, these things being so long ago that she changes it and people are not liking how it's gonna sound?
And these are all her most popular songs.
And
because let's be honest, Love, Lover, and Folklore, but all her other albums I love so much more. Like they are just it.
Well, because here's the thing, and you hate on him so much, but I would employ any and every business owner to listen to 50's interviews from 10 years ago.
First of all, I never said I hate him. Dang, you always what is with throwing me under the bus?
Okay. You make me lose my train of thought here. But yeah, it means a lot to you and to other people like you because you grew up with her. You never really think about this, but you're aging along with your artist. So as you're going through these moments and they're going through those moments, you're like, man, I get this. This speaks to me. And now it's just those moments. They just when songs are played, it triggers all this stuff. Look, you're going through a freaking memory lane.
I literally am right now.
Yeah.
All those Taylors.
So, my assumption is, did she not have, she gave this, was this given to this new company that has it now?
Is it 300?
That's what I saw. I thought it was 3 mil. Does Taylor not have that? Or is Scooter just not selling it to her for that? See, these are questions that I'm so curious about.
Because hold on. Because let's think about this for a minute. Would she have 300 million liquid? Because we've been discussing lately how a lot of people who are wealthy, it's not people's net worth doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they have in money and cash. So, I mean, when you think in terms, $300 million is over $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to have that liquid, because you got to think, these celebrities, they got the house, they got stocks, they got their jet, they got their island, whatever the heck they've been buying that makes their net worth bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? That is an unfathomable amount of money.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with the assumption she doesn't have this money. Because if you're saying my past 6 albums, I haven't been getting paid for them, that's my assumption. Like, it's when they hold the rights to it. So, like, they're making the money. Whenever people are buying these albums, streaming these albums, like, she's not getting anything, which is wild.
Which is terrible, because the amount of times I've streamed her songs since this happened, I'm like, I feel bad now.
I would say go out and buy it, but
it doesn't even matter. Like, that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts. And I know you're saying, yes, it's about the money. Yes, obviously it's about the money. But at the same time, that just hurts.
See, but here's the thing. So let's say Taylor goes and puts out these new albums, all re-recorded, but there's differences in it. She couldn't get the same beat for this song, or her the quality doesn't sound the same, or whatever.
So let's be honest, because my girl JoJo did the same thing, and because none of her stuff's on Spotify, right? So she redid it, and hers is on Spotify, and I have a few songs from way back in the day on iTunes. They don't sound the same, because also the one of the big differences is the voice. Mm-hmm. It changed. I mean, she was a young girl when she first did a few of those songs. So yes, it's going to sound different. And I still like it, but it just doesn't have that same nostalgia. It doesn't have that same that same hit.
Which then
that's what bugs me.
You're going to play these new Taylor Swift songs and be like, man, I wish that I had the original. And then you're going to go stream the original song. Like, Taylor's going to have to take these off her platform. Tough. And, like, you pretty much have to get rid of these, it being on Spotify and whatever other platforms. So you don't keep going back to it and kind of, like, erase it from everyone's memory. I mean, it's really impossible to do. But, yeah.
I know, it is impossible to do, because even like, what is it? Like JoJo's Too Little Too Late. She sings it slightly different in certain parts of the song, and I know what the original sounded like, so I'm expecting like that to come up, and then it doesn't. Like, you don't forget. If that was your jam, it's in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think it's really depressing, because I mean, her first 6 albums, let's be real, those are it. I mean, because Lover and Folklore are good in their own right, but they went a whole different way. I think the 6 albums, you saw the progression from full country to full pop, and it was just like they all made sense one after the other. And then when she got to Lover and Folklore is completely different than anything she's ever done. And then Lover was like this interesting, kind of poppy, kind of different sounding album. Mm-hmm. So, and I like songs from them, but ultimately, I mean, those, and again, like you said, growing up with them and just what's tied to them, I mean, those are my jams. So, and I think a lot of people would agree. I mean, those CDs, those are what made her.
Yeah.
So this really it's a very low blow. I couldn't imagine. I really couldn't, because if we put in the same perspective of like all the things that I have built in my business, and like, the thing I'm working on right now, and it's like, if I had to put all of that effort in to completely lose it, and not only lose it so that now I can't do anything with it, I don't have the rights to it, and I don't make money off it, but now I have someone who's going to then slap me in the face and sell it for a huge profit. That's devastating. That is devastating. That is your life work. That is your passion. That is everything that you've poured into it.
It's tough, because I get it both ways. It sucks, but it's business. Like,
no, that is shady business. That is not okay. I'm still one of those people, and maybe I'm innocent, maybe I'm naive, but I don't care. I don't care. I still believe you can be an ethical, honest, good business owner. You can still make it. You can get far being a good, well-rounded person. You do not have to step on everybody as you climb. You do not have to take advantage of people left and right. I really don't think that I get the whole, when you say it's business, I get that in the context of say, for example, I'm talking to someone who works on my team and we're having a conversation and I don't want it to get personal. It's not I'm not coming at you. It's not don't take this the wrong way kind of thing. It's business. That's one thing. But all this you just hear all this grimy business. No, I don't agree with that. And honestly, I think that's part of why people would like me and like my business is because I want to do business with good people. When I think shop local, we're talking about shop local all the time with the, holidays coming up and stuff. I want to support genuinely well-rounded, good people. Mm-hmm. I don't want to support someone who's slimy.
Yeah.
So, no.
Okay. So, to wrap this bad boy up, we're going to get into some relationship topic here. And I'm not sure if I want to read all this. That is a lot. I'm going to kind of skim through it and throw things in here and all that stuff. So, this girl is currently going to school to have a career as a nurse. And okay. Ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Oh boy, should I not be ready?
She says, this past week, I decided that my computer, which had been starting to have issues all year, has become too unreliable. This is especially because finals and final projects are coming up and I need a reliable computer going forward. My computer is 10 years old, so I knew this was coming eventually, and it's just not a great time, obviously.
Right.
Between previously having, I have no idea what that is, SAHM.
Between previously being a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, look at that. And now being back at school, I don't have much of an income on my own. I did discuss buying a new computer with our shared savings, and my husband was, of course, fine with this. The problem came when I said I wanted a MacBook. Like many current computers.
No, like my current computer.
God damn.
So, I mean, that makes sense. You just replace what you have.
Of course. But guess what? Her husband hates Macs.
I don't care. What does that have to do with my computer?
He is a diehard PC gamer and developer who knows quite a bit about computers and has always ranted about how Macs suck or whatever.
Which is hilarious because I've had many more problems with PCs than a Mac ever.
But she says, it's fine. He can have his own opinion. Right. But he does not want me to use our shared money to buy a Mac.
That does not make sense. I already don't like this.
So she's used Macs since she was 5 years old.
What? Damn.
Which is crazy, right? I mean, probably.
Your parents got money. We did not have a Mac.
Not really. I learned people in California kind of that's all you know. Certain places, that's kind of all you know.
Is she in California?
You wouldn't know this.
Well, then why did you say that?
I'm just saying, there are places that, that's just Macs were adopted. Like how Teslas are adopted in California, Macs were adopted in California.
Okay.
That's yeah. They say money's not an issue here. So we initially agreed on a budget which would allow her to buy a nice computer of any kind. And her husband, being a techie, doesn't see an issue with dropping money on tech products. His objection is purely based on the fact that he thinks Macs are an inferior product.
There's more?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's that?
You guys should see how long this was. When he said he didn't want to read it all, I thought it was just I'm one. Reading it all. Oh my god.
She says, I'm so effing stressed about this right now. I just want to get a new computer so I can stop dealing with the problems that my current one has.
I hear you, sis.
I have a lot on my plate, and I really don't have the bandwidth, but also because it's Wi-Fi. Okay. To deal with my husband's objections.
Girl, I hear you too.
To a particular computer company. I told my husband, if this is such an issue, I'll just put the computer on my credit card. I self-publish books and make a couple $100 a month from royalties.
Oh, good for you.
So I could pay it off within a few months.
Nice.
I'm exasperated with my husband's constant pontification. Yeah.
Pontificating?
What?
I don't know.
On this topic.
Pontificating?
And that I just want to
That's a fun one.
Get it over with. However, he seems to get offended when I said to put it on her credit card.
Oh my gosh, this ain't McDonald's.
He said that,
what is it, Burger King? You can't have it your way?
He said that I got a PC, he'd help me out with it. Which, no doubt he would, but I don't understand why I can't just get the computer I want, especially if the money isn't a concern. I mean, I'm the only one who's going to be using it.
Point blank. We're done with the conversation. That's all that matters.
I don't know how to talk about this because he seems adamant that I use our savings to buy a Windows computer. I don't know what I don't
want to go behind his back, but my anxiety and frustration is going up as my exams and other deadlines draw nearer. Any thoughts about how to help him see my view?
Ooh.
Bro, okay, first of all, I'm right there with you. Here's the thing. If the money isn't the problem, you're going to use the joint savings. Why does it matter what she gets, what is going to work for her, that she's going to be the only one using? This is where it doesn't make sense at all. She, on the other foot, is not going to tell you when it comes time and you want to, up your gaming stuff and get the fanciest computer and all this stuff. She's not going to say no. She doesn't understand it. This is like would be like us. Like, I don't understand all of that. But I mean, do you? Like, it's not going to affect. This is another, look at this full circle moment. This is another thing. It will not affect my life. As long as we can afford it and it's not going to, like, you're not taking, $5,000 more than we agreed upon or something crazy like that. If I'm not using the computer, what sense does it make for me to have a say? And this is actually, it's a very similar thing about it. This is like iPhone versus Android. I got the new iPhone, and if you were telling me that I could only get an Android when I am an iPhone user and I love them and I swear by them and they're what makes sense to me, no, I would be miserable. I'm like, why does that make sense? I just don't get it. He really thinks he can say all this. Like, it doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, as long as you're not stealing money from the other person or whatever, who cares? It's like, hey, if you have $2,000 to get whatever you want, then use that $2,000 and get what you need. Period. That's it. It's not like, it would be one thing if it was a family computer and then you gotta, like, agree upon what works for everybody and yada yada, but it's not. And it's funny because, like, I was agreeing with her because, like, my computer is going on 6 to 7 years old. And so it's getting to the point where, like, in a year or two, I need to replace it. And so it's been having its little quirks lately. But I will say, I have never had a PC last me that long. Not that well. So, I don't know. Like, that's the thing, too. All these people, they're like, PC is superior. And I don't see where.
I mean, in
some regards, and especially gaming, I understand that. But like normal, everyday use computer, I've had so much more luck with Mac. So I'm staying with it. Like, no one's going to tell me to go back. No, what are your thoughts?
I would just do it. I hate, if you told me that I couldn't get something that, like, for someone to use a computer since they were 5 years old and be familiar with the ins and outs, I understand Windows, we use it all the time, but like Mac has its own like things of like, once you understand like, oh, the swipe gesture does this and that, and just how to like navigate through it, and you used it all your life, go with it. This lady was even down to just pay it, like charge her on her card and pay it off with her own money if that's how you're gonna be. I really feel like your husband is just trying to mansplain you and be like, I know more, I'm smarter than you type thing, and it's like, it's so stupid.
Deep eye roll.
Like, if she's the one that's going to be using it, and you're not gonna, like, and she's not. It'd be one thing if let's say you got a Mac and you don't know how to use it, and you're constantly bothering me on like, yo, how do I use this? I don't know what I'm doing, this and that. I'm like, all right, get a PC because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But like, she knows. I don't understand why this is an issue.
Yep.
And
it's not.
I would not be on the internet asking strangers, yo, what should I do? I would pull the trigger. Not like a gun trigger, like me buying it trigger.
We are aware of the phrase, my love.
Okay. I like to clarify. But that's what I would do. Like, it makes no sense to sit here
and wait. It really doesn't. Again, the amount of work I've done on the Mac the past 6 to 7 years, the amount of things that are like Mac formatted at this point, even like documents and all this other stuff, I'm not going to go through the work to convert and make it PC again. And that, yeah, it just brings me more joy. It works easier for me. Because also she's talking about, it's for work, it's for school, it's for all this different stuff that you need a computer that's going to be reliable and easy for you to get through work. I mean, it's if it's not just a play computer, like you need to just function. You're not going to sit here and like learn a whole other computer or like not be happy with it. That just doesn't make sense. Like no.
Yeah.
I think this is the most ridiculous thing that he's so adamant on. For what?
Yeah,
For what? It's not yours. If you have separate computers, have your separate computers. Oh my gosh, that's like if I were to say, okay, so like he got his new MacBook a few months ago. And like I just said, mine's older. Now, like his is like fancy, like I love how it's like new, has the bigger screen, all this stuff. But like that's like if I were to go to his computer and say, wait, why is your dock that way? It should really be this way. And like, why do you have folders like that? They should be how I do it. Like that doesn't make sense. Everybody, it's just like a phone. I'll go back to the example. It's just like a phone. Everybody's is formatted differently. Everyone's organized differently. They use it for different things. Who cares? If it's not shared, it can be however you want. I don't get it.
It makes, yeah.
He literally has no points to make. Nothing.
It makes no sense. And I'd also ask, what does your wife do? Like, I would assume she probably has like apps for her Mac that she's bought that like, wouldn't work on Windows.
Right.
Yeah.
And if she has other Apple products that go with it, like if she uses the iPad or the iPhone in conjunction with it, like that really does help.
Yeah. I thought this was interesting because I really don't understand how someone can tell someone about a device that they use to get their work done. Yo, you can't get this. You have to get something else. Like, unless you're talking to your parent and they don't know anything about technology and you're trying to give them like, this would be beneficial for you. Cool. But if you're telling someone that's worked with this forever that like, yo, you can't get this, I say it's a bad product, this and that, makes no sense.
Yep.
But I just had to share that.
That was ridiculous. That really is like it's a black and white answer. That I mean, he has nothing to back himself up. Like, great that you know more about PC. Great that it works for you. Great that it's better at gaming. So use it for that. Tell me what to do. That's it. What else you got?
Yeah.
I just think it's a ridiculous argument because it's like, where are you going to go with that?
It's good. Good. I like it. I think this episode.
Me too. This was nice. This was like our olden day episode. Back in the day.
I will say, since I haven't said it that much, please check out our Etsy shop, Good Feeling Apparel. We have a lot of holiday items up there, a lot of stuff in general. Lately, I'm rooting for Everybody Black. Those hats seem to be flying off the shelves.
Yeah, those got really popular. It's very interesting. We'll go in like waves. Like we had for a while the like I don't cook but I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring. Those shirts and mugs were going. And then we had the macaroni in a pot shirt was going. We have the rooting for everyone black hat is going. And then we'll have like every now and then something random will go. Like just a random something. We're like, oh, cool. Like it's very interesting to see the.
Yeah.
So, but check it out. What you guys like?
All right. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up. If you made it to the end of this podcast, thank you for making it to the end. With that being said, guys, I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace out.